Welcome to Down South Football Podcast, man. We come to y'all live on a Tuesday night. No, it's late night for a lot of y'all, man. We appreciate y'all chiming in with us, but we really wanted to do a show yesterday, but we had things that come up. All of us are grown, so we here, man, tonight, talking about some college football news. Of course, we're gonna talk about Ed Reed, Bethune Cookman situation, and all the other kind of stuff, man. But first and foremost, we have Chauncey Tuck, the man with the plan. We have David Gardner, and we have, of course, I am DJ Double Dose, Mr. Ben Dennis. Fellas, how y'all doing tonight, man?
Doing
Hey
pretty
man,
good.
I'm gonna go first today. Hush up,
Yeah,
Ben.
go ahead, Dave. I know
You
you
got
got it. I know
you
you
got the
got it.
number
Go
one
ahead.
overall seed talk. Okay.
Hold on, hold
Tuck,
on, hold on, hold
huh?
on, hold on, hold on. Matter of
Hey,
fact,
hey,
matter of
Tuck, don't
fact.
you say nothing. Tuck, you go last. All right, Ben, you show some respect to the number one overall seed, Philadelphia Eagles, and you're being very disrespectful with that shirt on. I
Who
might
number
add.
who number
It-
two? Who number two? Who number two?
yeah, you're number two. That's right. You're number
I'm
two.
just saying. You
All
got
right,
like
all
me
right, Renard.
for a wild
I'm,
card team.
I'm good now. To everybody out there, man, I'm doing amazing. I'm doing outstanding. Having a great week, man. I am ready to get this show on because I got a lot to say about a lot of stuff. So let's roll.
Oh boy, this is never. When Dave said he got a lot to say,
Uh,
we already know. Let's go on and just get the FCC fines ready. Go and get everything on out. trying to see. I'm trying to see how people in the comments feel today. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Trying to see. I know how I'm feeling today. I'm feeling. I'm feeling pretty good. I know Ben is feeling good, but Tuck, it was a long weekend for you, bro.
It really was. It really was.
he couldn't get
It
to say
was a
this.
long weekend. Um, that's why, the whole week, I was very happy about them beating the Vikings. That was a great game. Um, but when I found out that we were playing the Eagles, I went to, just don't say nothing because like we said, like I said in me and Justin and the Wolfpack, we call it the Wolfpack
Mm.
talking group. Like I said in that group, I said, well, as soon as the ball kicked off, I was like, well, great season, guys. We all knew what was going to happen. We didn't think it was going to be that bad, but hey, I'm not going to say those three ugly words. I'll never
Oh,
do
and,
that.
and which word? Which words are those?
Eagles and fly. I just say two of them.
Oh, okay.
One time you say them back. One time you say
Well,
one word.
hell, you already said 10. I
I
mean,
say I ain't
two.
gonna
You
say
might
them
well
three.
say two more.
I ain't gonna say it's only three words. I won't say them in the order they need to be said.
Hmm.
But congratulations to the Illadale for sending a team to
The who?
Illadale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
that's
so
that's
disrespectful. Okay.
that's
Mm,
that
mm.
that part of the Pennsylvania that nobody really
Mm.
likes. But hey, yeah, congratulations, go
We,
Niners.
we,
But
we thank
but
you for
yeah,
thank you for whatever that was.
go
I don't
Niners.
know what that was.
I really don't know what to say about that. Anyway. Let's just go ahead and get into it, man. This has
That
been a
was interesting.
long.
So,
It's been a long few days. With a lot of things, with a lot of stuff that's been happening across the landscape. I hope y'all are doing well about everything, but I'm not. But we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So let's just go ahead and talk about a little bit exactly where we are with a lot of stuff. Okay, we are right now where I'm still gonna call him coach. Coach Ed Reed is no longer employed by the school of Bethune Cookman. Um, trying to figure out what Dave is laughing about. I don't know. He on the phone. He on the phone. What I do?
No. I'm laughing at you. I'm laughing at you.
What did I do?
Man, you know what you
I,
said. You know you just said,
I'm
man.
gonna refer. I'm gonna continue to refer that man a coach. He's still a coach to me.
if mama named it Cassie Clay.
That's what.
I'm
Thank you.
Oh,
I'm gonna call him Cassius Clay. Also with everything that has happened, with the Bethune deciding not to ratify his contract, and a lot of issues and things that have come out since that, we've had several lives, we've had several interviews. We had an interview with Roland Martin. We had a lot
Yes.
of uproar inside the HBCU community on a lot of things that's still going on right now. As a matter of fact, just left another discussion. So my personal feeling is that let's just go ahead and talk about it right now, and I'm gonna let everybody go, and then we'll see how it goes from there. So who would ever like to start? You 100% have the floor to go say whatever you feel like.
All right. I'll start this thing on off. I really believe, uh, I have a kind of understanding where Ed Reed's coming from,
Right.
but for one, you wasn't hired yet because you ain't signed no contract. That's the first thing. Two, you're talking about your employer before you even get hired. I was like, man, what is wrong with you? So those parts, I was like, okay, that's crazy. I think BC saw a chance to hire somebody that could make a splash,
Mhm.
and it backfired. But however, at the same time, you got to look at the administrations and the administrative stuff that they were doing in the background and what was going on, and you be like, okay, I see where Ed is coming from, but why did it take so long for them to sign him? That's one thing. Why it take so long for them to finish the contract? Two, if these things that are true, that what he's saying, why haven't y'all fixed this? And then again, we all know this is a issue. This is an issue.
Right.
HBCUs have been going through this. I think Ed should have kept it. Prime did a totally different way, which was keeping it in house. Keeping it in house. Ed's not an employee yet, so he ain't got to keep it in house, and that's a subsequent. The reason why he's fired. That's the reason why he's not there right now, because he couldn't keep his mouth shut because he wanted to go his different way. Um, and now Ed is doing lives. He's going on Roland Martin, and he's still talking. And this is only going to continue to get worse.
Yeah.
And going into the situation, like what my cousin said, talking about some Prime said. I mean, Ed said nobody was there to clean his office. My cousin said, "Well, Prime clean his damn office every day. Why you can't clean your office? You ain't that special." But again, that's neither here or there. Ed was working. He was starting to set up junior and senior days. BC said nope. They tried to shut that down. He was actively recruiting. He only had a little bit of recruiting budget, so he started to go out there and do some stuff. He was doing stuff in the background, but again, it's some stuff you just can't do. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't do that in a PWI. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't talk about your employee like that and think something was going to happen and think something wasn't going to happen. So I really wish people would start bringing up the facts before they start using their heart and stuff. And I think that's why we're having a big problem right now. What's going on with Ed and everything.
And I think for me, when we talked about it last week, he had good intentions in what he was trying to do. He was trying to bring awareness to the situation, trying to get things corrected. But sometimes you may have good intentions, but if you don't think things all the way through and you don't word them correctly, they can be taken out of context. They can be looked at as in the wrong light. And like we said in the pre-show, sometimes we have to put the situation with where it needs to be. Don't do it as a whole. If your issue and your things that you have is with Bethune-Cookman, make sure that statement is made that you are speaking on Bethune-Cookman. Don't put it on the HBCU as a whole, because that sheds light. That sheds a negative light for people who are just now. We like, as Dave will say, you got all of these new eyes on HBCUs. So when you lump it all in one spot, it shares a negative light. So what he said was not necessarily wrong. He was just trying to make a point, but he went about it, as you said, so he went about it the wrong way. And I just hate that now the things have gotten out of hand, and now he's doing interview after interview after interview, and the interviews is more so being talked about HBCUs more so than it is even Bethune-Cookman. You got, they're saying these HBCUs, so it's kind of getting it spinning out of hand when it shouldn't be, because his issue was with one institution, the one that he was trying to work for. And like you said, I mean, you can't dog out your employer before you even sign your contract and expect everything to go the way it needs to go. So I think that Ed Reed, I think his heart was in the right place. He just didn't word it the way it needed to be worded.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to talk from that point right there. Being is talking about the heart of him, his heart, he is very, very sincere about what he's doing.
Right.
I think that he truly loves those young athletes. I think that he really, truly, no one would doubt his love for the game. Mm-hmm. No one would doubt his passion. But I think that if it is one takeaway from this, from you young athletes or just young professionals, is to have the ability to be able to express yourself in a manner to where you get your point across, but maybe you don't get fired. Now, there's odd times that, you may not be that easy, but right. I guess what I'm saying is that the job of a head coach, that head coach job is a lot more political than you are the face. Believe it or not, whether you want to be or not, you are the face of that, not just the program, you're the face of that school. Mm-hmm. See, Ed Reed can walk down the street anywhere and they ain't gonna know who he is, versus the president of the university nobody know exactly who he is. Right. So you have to carry yourself in such a way, whether right or wrong. You have to carry yourself, you have to present yourself in such a way. And I think that, I don't think is he did not. Does he? I don't even know if he has the ability to, or even if he wants to. But now that doesn't take away from his passion. It doesn't take away from what he wants to do, because I believe truly, wholeheartedly, he wants to do great things. But man, we got to be able to carry ourselves, represent. If you're in that position, represent whatever you're representing. You have to be able to do it in such a way to where you're able to express yourself, get your point across, and maintain a level of profession. I had a good friend of mine ask me today. He said, "Man, did they expect Ed Reed to have a level of professionalism?"
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess the better question is, should we have? I don't know. I don't know.
The thing is, Ed. I mean, we shouldn't use this as an excuse, but Ed being a Louisiana guy who went to a Miami school and played in Baltimore. That's a triangle, fam. I don't care how you look at it.
How you want to do that?
Triangle. So, I mean, he's gonna try to keep his emotions in, but that's hard. That's hard to do for him, especially being how outspoken he's always been about stuff, and he's always kept it a buck. You know what I'm saying?
But
Deion should. Maybe
that's fine.
Well, I don't know if y'all ever watched Dave Chappelle's show, but he has a sketch on there. It says, "When keeping it real goes wrong," and I think this is exactly what the Boondocks would call a moment. Okay, I think that's exactly what we had, and like I said, and I'm gonna finish. I'm wrapping it up with this. I think my biggest takeaway. This just came to me. I'm just gonna take this angle of talking about him. Athlete, non-athlete, guys, we got to, as I'm just gonna be honest, as black men, we got to learn how to be able to express ourselves, get our point across in a professional way when you're in a professional environment. You know what I mean? And I think that had he been a lot more polished, had he been, I'm not saying he'd be an Eddie George. Ed Reed should be Ed Reed, but I'm just saying like a Eddie George, for example, this wouldn't have the same thing could have happened, but I think the end result and how it was handled would have been different. So I'm gonna leave it right there. That's where I'm at with it.
All right. Sorry about that. I have a lot to say. Because I've been knee deep in this 4 or 5 days. I have people when it comes to, even though we are considered quote unquote HBCU media, I have people that live and breathe this life every single day that I 100% trust. Okay. So when we're talking about this Ed Reed incident, we have to put everything into one big ball. Two things can be true. Okay. Two things can be true. Number one, Bethune-Cookman has problems.
Yes.
Bethune-Cookman has issues. And Ed Reed, I understand what he was trying to say. I understand what he was doing. He was right for exposing a lot of those issues. But their issues go back further. But notice I said Bethune-Cookman. I didn't say HBCU.
Right.
HBCUs, excuse me. I said Bethune-Cookman. That's the number one problem. The number one thing that I've seen that I have a big issue with is every single thing. I went to Stillman College. David went to Alabama A&M. I don't compare the two schools because those two schools are 100% totally different. So let's talk about some of the issues that some of the students have. The reason why they're protesting and a lot of things called. A lot of them have said inhumane conditions. Let's start with the athletic program. With the athletic program, I'm just going to say allegations because I've heard from players, conversations with players, and basically they are saying, yes, this happened, where they are having to swap helmets, where they having to change basically behind the field house, where they just had all kind of conditions that football players shouldn't have, mold on the shoulder pads, all this other kind of stuff. You can say that I don't say I'm saying this because this is what a student, an athlete is actually saying. Okay. So we have all these issues that are going on. So both are complicit and wrong on both sides. Now, one thing it is doing is putting a spotlight on the fact of that what people don't know. One of the biggest things is that everybody wants to say HBCUs. I went to a private institution that's the HBCU. Mm-hmm. David attended a state school that was a HBCU. Those two things right there are already 100% different. So you can start with the fact that Bethune been having problems. They're on a second interim president. You can talk about some of the great ADs leaving, some of the great people that have been there have left, all because it wasn't functioning right. So one good thing is going to come out is that Bethune is going to be held to get some things changed and some things that need to be changed. However, there's still the question of how do you feel about how Ed Reed went about it? Ed Reed is a passionate man, and his passion has gotten him a long way. Everybody have seen the speech from Ed when he basically cut everybody out. I told y'all, for lack of a better word, bring y'all ass on. We're gonna do this. Right. We're gonna do this. And the fact that he spent at least $18,000 out of his pocket in the 2 weeks he's been there. You know what I'm saying? That's all that kind of stuff that he is definitely doing. But if I look at it from this way, and I've listened to everybody's opinion about it, because there are still some people that are way more knowledgeable than I am. One thing that I can say for sure is that if it was me, I can only speak for me. There's people on both sides of this issue. I'm handling it not so much in-house, but it's the way that, like a lot of people have said, it's the way that he was handled. I'm not saying that he wasn't right and continue to expose some of those issues. It's 100% how it was handled. And if it was handled in a different fashion, we might have a different outcome. And I already know what I'm saying and how I'm saying is not going to be popular. This is not against Ed Reed, but this is 100% against the way that things happen with Bethune. Whether it's the money, the mismanagement of money, the problems that the students are protesting right now. Some of the issues need to be brought to light. You know, some of the not even just the trash and everything else, but it's a lot of it that we need to just really look at it and dive into and really kind of understand. But the biggest narrative that I do not like, excuse me, is the fact that all I keep hearing the word is HBCUs. We don't do that on another level. Yes, there's mold down there, mold and mildew. Number one, because they live close to the ocean, the weather, humidity, and then 2 hurricanes then came through. But let's stop acting like it only happens at what people want to say, quote unquote, lesser institutions. Alabama had a case. Clemson had a case of it. USC had a case of it. It's an epidemic across the country where there have been articles written on it. But guess who's leading that research? It's HBCU guys that are actually leading that particular research. And the main one of all is Harvard, the Harvard. And the little chancellor, the little vice president said, oh, it's an issue in all buildings. So my point is, like, we get it. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be done. Mm-hmm. Let's be solution oriented and not just say all HBCUs do this, all HBCUs do that. You don't say that when Clemson has an issue. You don't say, oh, the whole ACC needs to do this. We got to hold everybody accountable for what we're doing and what we're saying, but it's a better way for us to do it. We got to be able to do that. We got to be solution oriented. How are we going to get this solved? I've heard all the solutions from too many people over the last couple of days, but what we going to do about it? So that's kind of, I mean, that's just my quick little thing about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to go from there. We got to go from there. And then I know y'all got more on it, so y'all can just respond to what I said, however it goes.
To the point of, you know, it goes on everywhere, yes. And it's not highly reported, because I didn't know about the mold stuff at BC. All I heard about was them not having enough helmets, them not having enough, adequate, facilities for all their sports. Now, and this is no joking manner, but if Alabama State can get some of the nicest facilities in the country, not let alone the country, but in especially in college football in in SCS, why can't BC? You know what I'm saying? That's why I look at when it comes facility wise, like as the whole spectrum, not just football, but the whole spectrum. Why can't everybody just do like what Alabama State did? Shout out to my godfather, Quinn Ross. He knew exactly what they needed down there. Then he started building that stuff up. But it has to be a collective. And I really wish that everybody would get on the same page at BC. So
there's only one problem with that.
Okay.
The problem, you're right. I wish everybody get on the same page, but you got to have great leadership.
That's it.
And when I say great leadership, I'm talking about all the way down to the board of trustees, because at a HBCU private, not state funded, Bethune-Cookman is private institution. Mm-hmm. The board of trustees is the one that needs to go.
Yep.
If I'm seeing the one caveat that I keep hearing about is everything that's going on the board of trustees. You got students protesting on campus right now, the conditions and a lot of stuff that's going on. People say, oh, look what they did at Howard. But guess what? Howard had a plan. They put the plan in action, and it's going in action right now. Correct. So we have all these things that are going on. But it's like what I'm hearing is it needs to go back to the accountability of the people that's in charge of what's going on. It's not like, hey, alumni, y'all need to donate. No, it ain't one of them type of things, because you got a lot of alumni who's proud, who's trying to do something.
Right.
But the question is going to be like, how are we going to move this going forward? Because we can't have young men swapping helmets in the middle of the game.
And not to mention COVID ain't really went nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, COVID ain't really went nowhere. You got, like you said, you got guys swapping help. Like that's just flat out unsanitary. You know what I'm saying? Like
all through and through is unsanitary.
Yeah, that's just flat out unsanitary.
And then you just, and then I know we're going to touch on it a little bit, that this TV deal thing. Guys, this proposed TV deal. Now I'm looking at you kind of sideways right now, Swat.
He is talking about. Oh yes, they did, Wayne. I'm sorry, I forgot. They did. They. If I don't know if we've even mentioned this, they did. The BCU Board of Trustees declassified the Alumni Association.
Yeah, but they said there's another one though. They said it's a different one. They have a different.
If you declassify your immediate,
that's more like you said. That's just more internal. Like you
right.
said, like Renard was saying about leadership, that's more internal issues that's
they're
going
doing
on.
this instead of clapping. They're doing this. They're missing the mark.
Yeah,
you know.
But the one thing I'm just hurting about is and shout out to Ant from Golden Boot. Shout out to BJ Jones from Inside HBCU Football. I got to listen and talk to them last night. What about the kids, man?
Yeah.
I hate this for Bethune-Cookman, because guess what? I'm gonna use David Daughter for example. Let's say David Daughter goes Bethune-Cookman, gets a 3.9 and whatever highly field degree, and now she having to hear all this about her school. You think people ain't gonna look at you sideways? Reputation wise, they shouldn't, but that's what they do. You got these kids out here, man. They fighting for everything that they need. They need from the adults and from the people to trust about it. You know, I've heard the FEMA argument. I've heard all the funding arguments and all that kind of things like that. It's like you got it, Dave.
Speaking of funding, that just brought something to me as I think about the interview with the president. See, he didn't pull that trigger to Disney call. When Disney called and said, "Hey, y'all gotta do what y'all gonna do about this now."
I know, cause we get y'all some
we get y'all the money. We support that classic, that Florida classic now.
Like,
So
with some money went that way.
So,
it shouldn't be like this.
he basically all said. He said, you know, well, when Disney called, I had to act. You know, they called to inquire. In other words, when a powerhouse like that called to inquire, they're not really calling to inquire. They're calling for a resolution.
Right.
And he gave him a resolution. So, yeah.
GOJ said, shout out GOJ. What's going on, bro? Some things should be taken offline. I'm sorry, but we can't afford it. He's saying we can't afford to do stuff out in the public, you know. Proud Norfolk State graduate right there, GOJ. I mean, but what?
Well, I mean, when he said take it offline, what do you mean? Don't make it public? Is that what we talking about?
I don't know. I mean, I'll let him.
Yeah, I just want to know, GOJ, you talking about don't make it public, or are you saying
handle it? I think he also been speaking on handling it internally as much as you can. You know,
because I mean, like they said, when Disney called them, Disney's accountants are like, we made a check and we paid y'all on such and such.
Yeah, like wait a minute now, you like this
money.
As they say, this math ain't math. Like
you got a birthday aid that came through for the hurricane.
Disney called because they wanted them to squash Ed Reed.
Yep. They did have a few sponsors that reached out to them that said they didn't think that he was living up to the representation of a head coach. Yeah, a lot of people.
That's kind of weird, due to the fact that they are in the city of Orlando, right?
No, they in Daytona.
No, Daytona.
Near the beach.
I don't see why they would even jump into that, because
they probably give a lot of money.
They are a major sponsor for them.
Okay. I about to say them being that close, I'm sure they donate.
I ain't gonna say that. Well, they got a lot of cleaning up to do. They shouldn't be just because of Ed Reed. You know, they got some say so. They got some speak up, and they speak up about the board trustees.
See, here's the problem with going on Instagram Live. See, now you know what I'm saying. Now everybody see it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I mean, you know, some people say the power of social media. Yeah, the power of social media is good and bad.
Good and bad.
Now had social media, had this same event happened 25 years ago, we never would have heard about it. We'd have heard about it, but it wouldn't have been this.
It might have been a small. It might have been a small story in the local newspaper,
right?
You know what I'm saying, and that would have probably been it.
Yep.
But at the same time, if Disney donating this so much money, where's the receipts? Where's the?
Well, they donate to they're supposed to be a sponsor for the Classic, for the Florida Classic.
Okay, see, nobody is saying. See, this is where a lot of stuff has been miscalculated in this thing. Nobody's saying that they don't have any money, like they're just completely broke. They're just very. It's almost like a person that lives paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
Like that's just kind of what it is. We live in paycheck to paycheck, but at the same time, nobody's saying they can't do better about where they are and what they could do. But it's not just like, oh, they giving money, the money should be here. But it's just not the whole money issue, but it's also mismanagement within, like we already said, in the leadership and how things are going. Bethune-Cookman is a great school, but two people, I'm gonna be careful what I say right here. Two people can really mess up what a school is going through, as I speak from personal experience. Had nothing to do with the reputation of the school or reputation of the students at the school, but there was some mismanagement and some questionable things about funds. But you can't, it's not like you can fire the board of trustees because the state can't step in.
At a private institution, they're appointed, right?
They're appointed. I'm saying they're not fired. I mean, you can't just say, well, kick them all out. I'm sure there's something somewhere that I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just like, you can't. What can you do when it comes to that? But now I think Ed's point was, regardless how the tactic was, I think his point was, I'm exposing all this. And now you got the students marching on campus, and then not to mention, it's just what we're saying. You had people that were saying, yes, we will come and do this. There was a guy in the Twitter space that said, I will come and feed. They wouldn't let him on campus. So it's like, I don't know who's running what, but there's a lot of like things they need to go ahead and get fixed and get back to the Bethune-Cookman that we know. Because not only you have now sold the reputation of this particular institution for us to be there to educate, that's what you're supposed to be there for. Now it looks bad across the nation, because I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of people are not gonna dig. A lot of people are gonna take it for what it is and how it goes. Mm-hmm. And that's, to me, that's the part that really hurts. But you let a coach go 11 days before signing day, and he done brought some of these kids up here to recruit. What we got going on right now?
And what does Reggie Theus do? Like who's gonna come? Who wants to come to this basically a shit show? Who wants to come to this right now? Because that's what it is.
Bottom line is, I'm gonna look at it like this. I'm riding with Bethune. I'm riding with the institution, the people, to get this fixed, because that's what they need. They don't need everybody hopping on top of them. They need people that's gonna help them also. If they gotta continue to expose them, like the students are talking about right now, what they're going through, that's the voice that need to continue to be heard. And that's from hearing a lot from BCU alumni, BCU players, all of that kind of stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, it's not a situation that I'm proud of or happy of. It's a lot of been going back and forth, but I agree that at that point, I see why BCU felt like they did what they had to do.
Right.
I do. I see why they feel like they had to do, but there's also a different side to it also. That's why I said it's two different sides that's fighting together right now. But the question is, y'all can fight all day about being on each side, but what we going to do to continue to bring this program and to bring this institution back the way it needs to be? We saw the letter. Dave, I think you saw it too. That was released about they're gonna put a football player on the committee, to ex-football player, to help them find someone else. 11 days to sign a day, bro. So what my question to y'all is, what do you think is the next best action for Bethune-Cookman to get back to who Bethune-Cookman has been known as, especially when they used to run like the MEAC and everything else?
Well, I think first thing you got to do is find you a president. You know what I mean by that is, I'm not saying it in a negative way. If he's going to be the president, take the interim tag off of him.
Right.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I didn't mean a negative connotation with that. That's number one. Number two, well, the first immediately you're going to have to find your head coach. Well, that means promote somebody up for the time being, which would probably be the easiest and swiftest of transition. If there's anybody left off that staff, the old staff, you may be able to transition them into that lead role versus opening up a whole job search. Because this has to move quickly with signing day right around the corner.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to take a step back before you take a step forward. I think this is a step back, but you got to get some permanent pieces in place. As long as you got interim tags and vacancies, that smells all not solid. So you got to get some permanent stuff. I think that's the first step I would recommend.
Yeah, I mean, we got to be able to, and I get it, man. Well, we're not saying it's not 100% popular. It's not popular what we saying, and I'm gonna tell you, like, if y'all look, I'm holding back because I'm really like sideways, like ticked off because of the things that I'm hearing. And my biggest problem is that people say, "Why do I do this? Why be in this space?" Because this space right here. It needs more of this. It needs more conversation to figure out what can we do to go forward. Bethune don't need for me to add on. Ed Reed don't need for me to add on. What we need is a conversation so we don't go through this crap no more.
Yeah,
right.
That's what we need to figure out to be able to hold them responsible for what they did and how it was done on both sides, and then especially with the school, because that's everything that's going on with them right now, man. I can't believe they still are getting away with this stuff, man. I just it bothers me to my soul because I believe that Brother Reed, that's what I'm calling him right now, since y'all said I don't need to call him coach. Brother Reed had graded. What's so funny, man? Why y'all laughing? Brother Reed.
Well, you make it sound like he done went to see goddamn Farrakhan, boy. Like
Brother Reed had great intentions.
He just said what he wanted to say.
He spent all that of his own money. He talked about a lot of stuff. He sacrificed. He did a lot for them kids. Them kids still want him. The people on campus still want him because they want BCU to continue to improve.
And can I ask you one quick question before we get off of it? Okay, with everything that's going on down there, where does the conference come in this? Can the conference come in and you get what I'm saying? Like, if this is you're part of a conference, and we understand that this is an individual problem, but if it's as bad as it's being made out to be, where is the conference coming in with their help and their funding, so to speak? You get what I'm saying?
Hey, Dave, I think you can.
I mean, I just read articles and they get sued with $250 million. So
yes,
I don't think
they ain't got time for this.
I mean,
they ain't got time today.
Well, I'm with you. Go ahead, Dave. I was about to say.
I'm just saying I'm not being facetious, but
no, I'm just asking in general. Like, where is the conference?
I don't know if that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see that being within.
I don't think they can. It's just like I said before. Yeah. Number one, I said this from the beginning. They're 100%. They're private. The HBCU private school, so there's no state funds. Number two, when you're sitting there looking at talking about what a conference can do, most time a conference is going to look at this from an athletic standpoint. But their issues are not just athletic.
They got deeper issues than just that.
They got some deeper issues than that. Wayne using that McNugget word. They got deeper issues than that when it comes like down to like the function and how everything is being ran with a particular school. Like when we sit here talking about, like, I don't want to keep barking on the mold and all that kind of stuff. We already talked about that, but it's like we talked about how all that is affected, but also like I don't know how far they in, because there was a guy that was on one of the spaces with us today that he's a former financial officer with a private HBCU institution. He wouldn't say who, but like he said, a lot of times the numbers are fudged. So the numbers you can look up are not really
not even real.
I can speak up. I might get in trouble. I know a lot of times you robbing from Jack to pay Jill.
Gotcha.
And I mean, but these people paying almost $30,000 a year being in a private institution. Of course, I can tell you, being in private is high. Y'all think going to state is high. Try to go private with no scholarship.
No scholarship, right?
No state aid, none of that stuff coming, all that kind of stuff like that. It's just a totally different vibe. I don't know how much the conference can do as long as the school is still open and they putting a football team out there. I don't think there's much they can do.
The only thing, I mean, I'm just going off of what the SEC model does. And the SEC model does how they do Vanderbilt. And how they do Vanderbilt is they give them the money and then Vanderbilt shuts up. And they just don't get, and that's all they can do, because the conference can't say nothing about them. Tell about because they don't, like, Vanderbilt doesn't expose how much they paying coaches. That's why Bethune-Cookman is the same way. Bethune-Cookman ain't got to say nothing about how much they're paying coaches, how much the coach was going to get paid, anything. That's the benefit of a private institution. You ain't got to tell nobody anything outside this world unless you got a subpoena.
So
I got you. I was just curious. I mean, because
that's a valid question though.
Because it's in this dire state. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, we ain't trying to come in and bail out everybody because they saying they got problems. They legit got a lot of shit going on right now. That's what made me ask.
The lawsuit, the sweat can't talk right now. They got.
Speaking of that, let's just transition for a minute.
They're gonna be at the Sheraton in July. Anyway,
let's transition a little bit to this lawsuit. Wayne said McNugget. I know where you got that McNugget from, Wayne. I'm gonna leave that alone right now. I do too. I know you got that McNugget from. I'm gonna leave that alone. Yeah, they getting sued. They are being sued by Urban Edge Network for interfering in marketing and promotion deals. Basically, it comes down to deals for individual rights that that they claimed that everybody was involved. I mean, that they was involved and all this, and kind of they've been interrupted in the process, which is kind of funny considering I'm gonna shout out Allscript, because Allscript put it up there about the fact that when McClellan was the president was the person at Texas Southern, he negotiated an individual deal for Texas Southern, and this is kind of what they're trying to stop. They're basically trying to say, hey, the conference do it, and then that should be it. That these different schools who already have individual deals have individual broadcasting and media rights deals where people are paying them. Thank you, GOJ, and for paying them money and all that kind of stuff like that. So that's kind of where we are. It's always something. It's always something. But I will give credit to Allscript and a lot of other what I call old head HBCU media. They have been dealing and digging with this for a long time, and none of them right now, nobody seems to be surprised. And shout out to Yard Talk HBCU for putting it up on Twitter and making it known to a lot of people. So, because she got the whole lawsuit. I'm talking about she got the whole thing.
She got the whole disposition.
She got the whole disposition. I'm like,
it just filed yesterday.
As Leah would say, the 4-page letter. She got the whole.
Bro, she got receipts.
She got the whole
receipts. I'm like,
she got receipts. Like, what we doing right now? What's going on? Dave, you got any thoughts on that?
Absolutely not. I gotta go do my. I mean, because I'm trying to read it and digest it and understand it.
What
exactly what was going on? So once I digest it, understand it, and then I can speak on it. But I knew it just didn't sound right. Where I don't know if this has anything to do with SWAC not having rights to the stuff. I don't know what something didn't sound right from the beginning to me. Now, I was never a scholar, but
what you mean by that?
But it was saying like when Allscript was talking about that the SWAC didn't have exclusive rights to they didn't own the rights to their content. It's
Right.
like somebody else had the rights to it. To me, that didn't sound right, but I didn't know enough about it to really speak on it. So I'm gonna do my homework and read it. And
This ain't going nowhere no time soon.
I could be wrong. This now, shout out to one of our friends, man, to Yard Talk. You know, me and her, you know, we have several conversations. We follow each other. Like she's really diehard HBCU, like for really diehard. And it's like anything you want to know, like she gets into the weeds of everything. She's been screaming this for months because Grambling is on HBCU League, not League Plus, League Pass Plus. Yes, it is League Pass Plus, and they have like a little deal on there. That's where they show their spring game. Stillman is even on League Pass Plus. Matter of fact, I watched the basketball on their game the other night. Like, you know, even though they're NAIA now, I mean, I still watched it. It's like, okay, cool. But it's like GOJ, I think Norfolk State got a channel on there too. And if I'm, you know, like you have different people that are coordinating different deals. And apparently they wanted to do it all in one. And they were interfering with individual deals being done, kind of like, you know, I guess you can say, I don't want to say like a SEC or ACC network, but it's kind of like what Texas had.
I'm about to say the Longhorn Network, the Texas joint. Yeah.
Kind of, but it's like you are doing different deals to make sure that your financially that you are giving money back to your own school and everything. I know what HBCU League Pass, Stillman has gotten some things. I love the brand new court. And I know that some other schools have gotten a lot of things from it too also. So I don't know. I have to get, like you, Dave, so I have to get down deep into the weeds of everything. So
I mean, like I said, from the surface, how I'm looking at it, they dropped the ball because now, since they think Prime is gone, they're going to lose out on the advertising dollars that they could have had or the money they should have gotten from what it could have been. Because you can't tell me if Dion is there, if Dion is doing what they're doing, and then they're having all this exposure. You mean tell me y'all can't find nobody that wants to stream? Nobody wants to do this. Nobody wants to do that. No,
it goes back to the ESPN contract too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But the thing is, who was at this table when this was happening? You know what I'm saying? Why wasn't it being talked about? Why nobody didn't make a move? It's no way possible that nobody was just sitting on their hands and not doing nothing. They didn't want it to happen.
And I think, Dave, you probably know this because we look at a lot. I think when what I've seen is almost like only like $1 million a year that they're getting from ESPN, and like that's just a couple games they broadcast like you know live or stuff like that. Most of everything else be on ESPN Plus. Right. Or be like, you know, it's like, and like she has always said, like, why are we not in control of our own worth? We're worth more than that. I mean, hell, the SWAC championship game was worth more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, not trying to be funny.
Not trying to be funny, but you saw the numbers that it did. Yeah.
Hell, look at the Celebration Bowl. The Celebration Bowl was one of the top bowls that got watched. Now it came on a great time slot. Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, you get. And I know the Celebration Bowl, SWAC, and MEAC, but what they're saying is that our rights, as far as like our media rights, are not valuing us enough.
Yeah, I think too. I wish, I'm gonna be honest, what I wish for, I kind of like what HBCU Plus has done with each school kind of have their own little network. Is HBCU Go, HBCU Plus got the networks in it.
HBCU League Pass.
League Pass, they have it. Yeah, I do like that because here's the thing: even at big time college football, ESPN can only show so many primetime games. Right. Of course, none of those primetime games are you're only going to get so many. That's going to be HBCU. I guess the only issue, and I know this is kind of off topic, but I guess the only issue I have sometimes is when they do broadcast our games, it don't look like the other games. You know what I'm saying? So when you put me on the
League Pass,
yeah, and I actually watched the game
and saw the quality,
it is so much better. So I see what can be done. I just don't know the how, and I don't know.
It's like you can only get that. You can only really get that. If I'm just talking about, I mean, and I know they plan on expanding and stuff like that. But like the difference is like they talked about like the less number of cameras and all this other kind of stuff, the production quality of it.
Yeah.
With ESPN, and it's like people have started complaining because I see people looking at League Pass and other places like that. It's like the League Pass is killing them, but the problem is they only have like one. When I say one set, I'm talking about like 8, 10, 12 cameras. They don't have enough cameras to be at A&M, to be at
Right.
Bethune, be here every week. That's why they do that game of the week.
Look, if I was Tyler Perry, and I'm not Tyler Perry, but if I was Tyler Perry,
I would say, you here, can I get 100?
I would invest
1,000
into a black college production for sports, because
But
you
right.
would. The thing is, the only thing you will have. So, how many league member schools is it? It's what?
If you're talking about just a SWAC, you're talking about 12.
It's 12.
Well,
Okay, if it's just a SWAC, we're talking about what's the deal with SWAC? You got 12. You got at minimum you're gonna have 6 foot for at minimum you're gonna have five football games, right? 5 to 6 football games a week.
Right.
That means at most you have to pay for 5 different crews. You got to pay for at least, so we're talking probably you got to have 15 cameras at every game. Roughly, I'm just doing the math in my head. That's 75 cameras. Invest into that and put it out there. You know, it's a big investment. Trust me, I know how much cameras cost. It's
Right.
It's big money.
It's money now. You gotta have that funded.
Gotta have, because I know a simple ARRI camera, and that's what Hollywood uses, and this is what
Humble brag.
like everybody, the worldwide leader uses. These are $115,000 cameras.
Humble brag.
$115,000. Well, this just the cameras. That's no audio. That's not paying your talent. It's a lot of money.
I got one better than that. I think somebody mentioned it on the show a couple weeks ago. We had why don't the OWN network do it?
yeah.
See, that's
Oprah Winfrey's a Tennessee State grad.
Yeah, it would be big. It would be big.
But I mean, hey, that just me just thinking,
Right.
You know, I'm just a little kid.
Jay,
Birmingham.
I'll go back up to what I want to say what Wayne said. Wayne said like ESPN Plus use the school equipment. Why is it like that?
Right.
But the ESPN,
Exactly.
but ESPN, I mean, I get you. I'm with you on that, Wayne. But like, you know, like the other night, like the Alabama basketball game, like they said a lot of times when it's on SEC network or when it's on ESPN2 or ESPN stream like that, like of course the Roll Tide network is the one that's producing it back there because they made that investment when the SEC got that network money. Same thing with War Eagle Network and all that kind of stuff. I know more about the Roll Tide network because my nephew was in it, so I did a lot of research on it. But I knew about that beforehand.
I know a lot.
Yeah, I know you know. I know you know.
Like with War Eagle Productions. The War Eagle Productions, it's their own entity. The thing is, you're gonna have to understand these cameras are expensive, and just like GOJ said, it's based off of the region. It's based off the major networks. It's based off of region. Somewhat true, yes, because if it's a region game, then they're gonna go. But if it's a national broadcasting game, you're gonna have 4K. You're gonna have the end zone pylon cameras. You're gonna have the background with the visits what College Game Day set up. It's huge. Don't get me wrong. It's a monumental task, but can it be done? Yes.
Right.
Yes, it can be done, but you got to get the right people in the right for it to like Dave said, how it looks so crispy clean on our TVs and everything. It needs to do. We could do the same thing, but it's gonna cost a grip. I mean, that's a whole nother production part. You know, it took Tyler Perry 20 years to get what he did from right now. I'm not gonna say it's gonna take 20 years, but maybe 10 to get to that same production as ESPN and CBS and all them guys.
Speaking of production, definitely want to talk about this for 2 minutes before we just hit a little bit of other college football news. But Bethune-Cookman, we with you, we support you. Remember that, okay? The comments that Deion's oldest daughter made, Deandra Sanders, I think it was on Baller Alert Network.
It was.
You know, there were some things that were said, and basically what she said was that that there was a killing or something in Jackson every other month, every other week, or something like that. Now she has come back and retracted that statement, but it wasn't, to me, it wasn't 100% retracted.
No,
It was kind of like I misspoke, kind of thing. So how do y'all feel about that? Because there's only been one documented homicide in Jackson State's campus in the last 50 years, 52 years.
Yeah.
So how do y'all feel about that? Because it's made a lot of the rounds, and I think it's just to add to a lot of tension of where we at right now.
Well, I really think that one incident that happened in Jackson in the 7-8 years that has happened, as far as a homicide, being taking place, I think she tried to ease the blow for her dad leaving. You know what I'm saying? The crime and all this stuff, and try to talk about that.
And the host didn't help.
Yeah, but she actually made it worse. Talking about because people even said like, "What are you talking about?" But there's also it's more than just murders that happen in Jackson. There's a lot of crime. There is a lot of break-ins and domestic violence, but that's all over the place. This is America. Crime is everywhere. Crime follows. If one thing, if Alabama and Auburn and all these boys travel, crime travels too. So it's going to happen in all these universities. You got to just look it up in the FBI statistics index, and it'll tell you exactly what's happening in Colorado. Yes, there were 15 break-ins in the past 3 weeks in Colorado.
Y'all gotta go to FBI. You can just Google it.
What'd you say?
Former police officer always got to be fancy. Come on, some FBI stats. You
can just pull up the crime index. It ain't hard to look up these numbers. But I think she noticed that she made a mistake. She's trying to backtrack. She's trying to, save face. I don't think baller alert is the best way to do it, but hey, you gotta get out there some kind of way. And now that she said this, I think she's trying to save face. Basically.
Hold on, Tuck. Dave was on fire.
I mean, I just get tired of this crap. I mean,
know your facts before you speak.
I mean, I'm talking about stuff happens everywhere. I mean, I'm sitting here reading back in 2007, 32 folks got gunned down on the campus of Virginia Tech. Facts. It's quick Google search. It took me 45 seconds.
What is wrong with you?
People gunned down on the campus. You think Beamer left?
No.
I think Beamer probably was one of the Beamers. One of them was there.
Yeah.
Frank was there.
So I guess what I'm saying is, we as a culture, I guess we just don't think stuff supposed to happen. I mean, but I guess it kind of goes back to the whole black on black crime crap that was built over the years.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Folks kill who they around. Black folk kill black folk, white folk kill white folks. I digress.
The biggest thing.
No, Dave. I wanted to add to your point. I didn't want to interrupt. That's why I raised my hand. I raised my hand because have y'all looked at the documentary on Colorado, University of Colorado? Have you looked at not I'm just saying like, oh, their crime is no. They had some for real serious problems about what they have happened over the last few years and how much crime they've had on their campus and how much things have gone on to the point where the people are warned about going to certain parts, but you don't hear about it.
No, of course not, because you know why. We know why, but
I hate to use this.
Yes,
pray God, but we just had an incident in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, unfortunately, and we just had wrong. I think it was 2 murders in the last 3 weeks.
I got one closer to home. UAB down the street, and you know how many folk get killed in Birmingham.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Campus in the middle of downtown.
We limited.
What we say? They in the crib.
In the crib. UAB campus before they demolished them was probably about 7 blocks from one of the most deadly projects.
From Southtown.
It was.
From Southtown.
Look,
but they don't talk about that.
Right
Don't
there.
nobody talk about that.
one of the biggest
Nobody talk
fallacies
about that.
people have been able to say is, first of all, the
got Devil
black on
Dave.
black crime is 98%, and white on white crime is 92%. You're going to kill whoever you around. So that's one of the biggest fallacies. Number two, Columbine High School is in one of the whitest suburbs in all of America. I'm not saying they're the first school shooting, but they were the first one that was reported as the biggest school shooting, the biggest mass school shooting ever to happen. It was in Columbine.
I wouldn't even
Columbine.
Okay.
But you want in Colorado, but you want to go out there and say, well, we're just going to go out here to Boulder where it's safer. And there's
I think it's just today's point. It's just like you said, man. Like baby girl, know your facts before you start speaking. You know people have their eye on you and your family. So they're gonna harp on what you say. And when you speak wrong facts, now, like y'all said, you gotta backtrack and apologize and say, oh, it's not really that. When if you would have just took another, like Dave said, just took another 45 seconds and did your research.
That's it.
You probably would have got the answers you needed before you went to blab in your mouth.
That's
you know what I'm saying? And I think that's been a common thing of all of this. Just know what you're speaking on before you turn on that damn phone.
And the crazy part, I don't think she meant, like you said, meant harm by it or anything, but it's just the way that, and people gonna take that and take, how they're
gonna take it and run with it.
Run with it. But this is a question from Vandy Chris 24. Okay, guys, let's hear you discuss the statement by UGA today. Seems like someone is getting sued over that car crash. Your thoughts? I didn't want to touch it. But, I'll let Tuck touch it.
All right, look, yes, somebody is getting sued. Yes, it's going to happen. Unfortunately, I heard y'all talk last week on the show. But yes, somebody's going to get sued. It's an unfortunate incident that happened, but dealing with the staffer that was there with them. Now, the legalities of everything, you got to see if this young lady was a full-time employee of the school, which I pretty much think she was. And how do you treat that as? Do you treat her as an equal, or do you treat her as a quote-unquote superior? That's how they're going to look at it. And that's where you're going to, as far as when you form a lawsuit against that, that's the point you're going to have to see. Because if she's hanging around with, that's like me hanging around with associates that I work with, can't do it. It's like, if you're a manager or team lead or somewhere, you're going to get in trouble for hanging out with somebody that's up under you. But you got to first see what a football staffer. You got to see what they're considered as. I mean, I think they're just due to the fact that they are employed by the school. Yeah, I would say that she shouldn't have been hanging out with them, because she has, she's supposed to be a superior. So, what's this?
I didn't want to say this part right here. Vandy Chris said it. He said they have a university. They had a university car and on videotape coming out of a nightclub. It sounds like a real mess. Yeah.
Because was she driving the car? I don't know the facts.
So. I don't think she was. Well, maybe she was driving the car. I can't
she
remember.
Was driving the car.
Was she the driver? Yeah.
If she's the driver of the car, then that person gets hurt, then she's at fault. So she's a university employee, and then it goes back to what I was saying about about how you supposed not to hang out.
That's messed up, man. God rest both those people.
Yeah, it's going to suck. But more likely than yes, she will.
Oh, GOJ said. First of all, GOJ said they'll settle. Wayne said, "Welcome back to."
Oh, appreciate it.
And then GOJ also said she was driving.
Oh man, yeah. I
thought she would, but I didn't want to just say.
Yeah, that was. I don't know the total facts of everything, the totality of everything, but I'm looking at it as a leader, and you cannot be hanging around. This is the reason why. When football staff are just like when old girl got in trouble with Boutte down at LSU. They should have been messing around with him. because guess why? She was, a football staffer, even though they're totally 2-3 separate different types of things.
Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky.
But the concept still remains the same.
Okay, let's bring this back. Let's talk about a few things.
I ain't
Go
want to
ahead.
say it. But
I wasn't gonna say it. Look,
I'm
Renard ain't gonna
safe
say
with
it
that.
because I'm just trying to be in a focused mindset today because I'm. It's easy for me to be unfocused right now. There's a lot going on. A lot going on in my life. Anyway, no, you're fine. Let's just hit a few college football notes. We'll start with of course, Josh Heupel got a nice extension through 2029 by Tennessee today.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, yeah, but get out. Go in the corner for like 5 seconds so we can finish. Go in the corner, be quiet. Lord have mercy. What is wrong with y'all? Why y'all this sensitive? Anyway.
Word wisely, bro.
I swear. We all know about about Florida releasing 5-star QB Jaden Rashada from his NIL. NLI.
NLI.
Having to do with NIL, but not and trust me, y'all can stop throwing around that $13 million figure because it's way.
Use your brain. What we say again? Use your brain. Take 45 seconds.
It ain't even about using your brain. We got 5-star Kamani McLean flips to Colorado, so now he got Travis Hunter and he got Kamani McLean. He got the number one cornerback from last year and the number one cornerback from this year. Good. So that 13 million number, y'all can let that go.
They can't pay Dion yet, so they can't pay Dion yet. So
yeah, the guy did come out and say it, but see, they can raise that kind of money.
Easily.
Also, in expected news, Bill O'Brien moved on to the New England Patriots as offensive coordinator. So now Alabama needs a new DC and a new OC.
That's a lot of turnover. I don't care what these folks say.
And the wide receiver coach is gone also.
And this is 11 days before signing day, right, Renard?
It's the coach.
They're done.
But they're done. They're basically done. They finished everything in the. Yeah, they got the number one. They got the number one everything in about 7 damn positions. Hell, what else do you need?
Number one in everything. They got a number one in everything. This is ridiculous.
So back with Bill, GOJ.
This is Jimbo fault. You know what? What nephew at? This Jimbo fault.
Who talking about Damian?
Yeah, look,
you know how Damian get bougie on us in the offseason.
Then we always talk. You don't even say J. You can't even say the. You can't even say the J.
Jimbo fault. That man woke up a monster.
CJ Stroud, of course, went pro after a small flirtation of possibly coming back. GOJ. That's just what I was told. I'm just saying it was a small flirtation there. Of course, we talked about the Big Ten commissioner. And other transfer news. The Kingsbury stuff.
Bama will look at him and Cliff will not. Cliff does not have his
on vacation.
I was told today, don't even think about it.
That man bought a one. If a man put out there publicly, I bought a one-way ticket.
No, GOJ, this man's on an island right now. He's not coming back.
GOJ said he wanted to come back. He talking about Stroud. I heard that.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I mean, you could see it though. In the letter that he wrote, you can see like he was torn. I mean, he was really, 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 really torn.
I wish he would have came back.
I mean, he would have got some nice NIL money and a lot of stuff at the same time. I can't fault him looking at this QB class or what people want or thought.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go.
I mean, he's gonna be 1 and 2 this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he'll excel to 1. I mean, that's my personal opinion. But
I'm gonna say my thoughts about Alabama and the coordinator search for a later.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
But we got a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff we still have not hit on.
Hey man,
not right now.
I don't think we're gonna ever be able to. I don't think we're ever gonna get a chance to do an end of the year show because the stuff just keep happening.
Well, that's football. That's all football. But the thing we can always do an end of the show. This
is what we tell y'all. This is what we keep trying to say. Right now, if we did 4 shows a week, we would not run out of
Still.
any content. And we want to do more. But we need everybody to hit that like and subscribe button. And we need everybody to tune in and tell us what stuff you like. She said on the Rashada stuff, young man going to get something in trouble. He already got the boost at Miami looked at by the Fed. Hey man, he been looking at by the Fed.
Well, for a little minute now, so that ain't
because Money Mike down there at Florida State had him looked at. So
tell him again, GOJ.
Hey, listen.
Yeah,
Tell him again. That's the truth. Year round.
Oh.
Like I'll tell you, if you can listen to like where we are, because now there's really no 100% all, even when it was all season, there's never been an all season.
Right.
So it's like it's great. We love it. I love it to death. But we do have to get in just to look back on the end of the year at some point. But like you said, everything just keeps happening. When you listen to college shows and college podcasts every day, like it ain't no like, oh, y'all remember week 8?
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna get a chance to do a year in review, cuz now we got the lawsuit coming around. Before you know it, you got spring practice.
We're gonna have to sneak.
Oh, you got about 2. You got about today 24th.
So
I think there's a team that's I think that no teams start in about. There's a couple teams that start. I think middle of February.
I think they're working out now.
It's like 7 or 18 start.
Then we got
2 weeks after the Saturday.
the draft won't be long.
Draft in May.
Yeah. And then you got like I said,
you got pro day. You got pro day is gonna be somewhere in April, March or April. Got pro day.
We got time.
You also got, like I said, like we were saying, like the workout, like GOJ said, workouts and stuff been started. But the biggest thing, like a couple of them that do they spring early, because for some reason everybody like to do the stupid same or around the same weekend in April. It ticks me off every time. But some people move it up. Like you see some in the middle of March,
right?
And you see teams start practicing and spreading it out in the middle of February and at the end of February.
The doggone SWAC gonna need their own show. We're gonna do a separate show just for the SWAC. God, no.
SWAC, you listening to us?
They won't. They like us. I'm like Wayne. Not Wayne. So they like a soap opera.
Hey, SWAC, why don't you throw some fun in this way? We'll do our own show.
We ain't trust me. If it was up to me, there'd never be a lack of content. Like we don't have a lack of content. What we have is lack of time.
Yeah.
we have lack of time. We have a lot of content. You know, if y'all want us to be like Off Script and some of these other folks that come on every day or every other day, then we need y'all support. Oh, working on the membership, trying to get all that done. I know some of y'all said that that y'all gonna see a lot of like short little reels from us on YouTube. Make sure y'all support those, like and share those also from a lot of little cut ups. And then y'all that are interested in the membership, I know MM was, I know Sean was, I know a couple other people was. Y'all let us know what y'all would like to see if y'all was to pay like the membership fee to be inside of us. So hey, everything gonna keep moving with us, man. Hopefully we can find a place where we can all maybe meet. That's if when Tuck gets this grant and he can buy that building. And then we can set everything up in the building, as long as they ain't over there in Montevallo. We're not going there, especially after 9.
Yeah, because it is a Sunday.
I don't think they gonna come over that way after 9.
That's a hop, skip, jump, and a jump rope.
I wanted to tell Dave.
It ain't got nothing to do with that. They just gonna be like, first of all, where we at?
I go over there.
You can find them.
I ain't going over there. But hey, we got some other stuff that we really want to get out to y'all. But we really appreciate y'all support, man, for everything. And whatever y'all want to say in the chat, y'all know it's always open anytime. Whatever y'all want to do. So trying to see when we're gonna come back. I know a couple people got a couple other things this week. Maybe Thursday.
Maybe Thursday.
Maybe.
Just talking about next week.
Talking about this week.
So this week.
Thursday. I know I'll be out of pocket.
Yeah, I know Dave would be out of pocket on Thursday. That's what it was. It was somebody else that might be out of pocket. I think it was me.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we'll see y'all next week, guys.
Hold on. Wayne said I skip 2 cups of coffee every week so I can get my
Hey,
membership.
look, Wayne. I was talking to Renard about a couple ideas for people that want to pay. I was like, bruh, this we can make it happen.
JSU Spring. Yes,
Yes,
100%.
very much so. ESPN will be at both of those. I
They
can
will.
guarantee.
I guarantee you gonna get. I ain't gonna say guarantee. I ain't gonna put no Charles Barkley. I ain't gonna say no guarantee. I think you gonna get Herb Street and
Well, you went out.
the spring.
Not we.
The spring crew. I think you gonna get them
Yeah.
in Boulder.
Yeah, as long as
I can
it,
see
as long as it's not on the same day as Georgia or Alabama, you will get. They'll be at Colorado, guarantee.
Vandy Chris says Vandy dropped a video of a freshman offensive lineman doing 750 time 3 on squats yesterday. That is it is.
Yeah.
It is. And shout out to my guy. I know Kip is not on here. I want to give a shout out to like a little to Jackson Visa, man. One of Kip's sons, a friend of ours, man, a real close friend of ours, man. His son committed to North Alabama, committed to UNA. You know what I'm saying?
Go
I know he
Lions.
was, huh? Yeah,
Go
go
Lions.
Lions. You know, they had 12 recruits on campus, and all 12 of them committed.
That
That's
was
what's
up.
up.
So,
Also,
that's
shout
what I
out
saw.
to Kip and his Cowboys.
I think he should play early.
Yeah, shout out to Kip. And
First of all, if Jackson was 6'1",
Yeah.
Jackson will be a 5-star recruit. I'm telling you that right now. The fact that he's just a little bit under, right at 5'11", look, the boy bench presses about 600 and some odd pounds, 700 pounds in high school. Okay, he's a graduating senior now, but you know.
put what he put up.
Oh, GOJ said I just returned from I just run from Denver on Sunday. They love them some prime. Oh, I bet they do.
Don't put what Wayne said. Don't put that up.
You say.
Put what Wayne said.
That's right, Bandit, Purple Power, and Florence, baby. Brother played at UNA too.
No,
Basement better not mismanage funds. Talk about. For those of y'all that's still new to the show, they talking about being basement right now.
we gonna have an enclosed ceiling.
Beautiful.
and
We
everything
have
with
a
us
separate
lighting.
beautiful.
Wayne,
Those of us who are familiar with Southern Church, we have a separate building fund.
Wayne, no, we ain't got no building fund. No,
Oh,
if it's a building
man.
fund, it go to the DSF account. Ain't no building fund for your basement. You better change your camera angle.
I'm telling you.
Lord.
Look, they finna be gone. Cause look, it's getting late. We appreciate y'all for rocking
Oh,
us, man. Sorry for coming at y'all late, but we hopefully be back later on.
It might went out again.
Mike went out, Williams.
Yeah, that cord is back to
Oh, okay.
take it again. So if y'all want to see anything from us, man, y'all know what to do. But we got a lot more content coming for y'all, a lot more interviews, people like that, some more college football, what I call people in the know that's coming to us. So, and we're going to have this NIL conversation. When I say an NIL conversation, I mean like we got a lawyer that we really like. He's a sports lawyer. He used to play sports, all that kind of stuff, but he's like 100% on NIL, knows everything about it. Give us some little clarification about a lot of stuff that's going on that a lot of people don't know. And we will stay on the HBCU train as far as like where we are with everything. And shout out to all the real HBCU content creators. I mean, all of them, because they all been on it, been digging up details that people didn't know about beforehand. So we appreciate y'all for everything. So Dave, you got anything else?
I have nothing. I am
And we still have a couple shot glasses left too if y'all want the shot.
Yeah, we got shot glasses, we got hats. Go to dsf.com, go to the merchandise store.
Podcast.com.
Yeah. Is it podcast.com? It is podcast. I don't know why I was thinking DSF. Yeah, so go to dsfpodcast.com, go to merchandise, we got hats, we got hoodies, we got shot glasses.
We own that domain though.
Yeah, we do own that domain.
We own the downsouthfootball.com domain.
Yeah, I think that's what threw me out.
Yeah.
So yeah, go there, man. Get you some merch. Get the shot glass. Get the rest of the shot glass. I hadn't bought mine yet because I'm waiting on y'all to buy them. Now y'all either buy them or either I buy them. One or
Now
two.
since mine is missing, now I got to replace mine.
Right now, I got to replace his. We're trying to save it. We don't want to buy our own supply. We try to let y'all have them because y'all complain about they be sold out and all this other stuff. When they coming back up, when they there, damn it, go buy them. That's all.
Aaron got his 15.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what he's gonna do with 15 shot glasses. I hope he give them away a gift.
I guess it's a party. He likes to party.
Hey, he does
Vegas.
he does live in Vegas.
Yeah,
He
I'm
live in
saying
Vegas.
it's a party, and that
Aaron
kind of
does
party.
live in Vegas.
You know, everybody know what I'm talking about.
So I see. Okay, we're gonna end on this. No, and the answer is still no. We're not going to Vegas with Ben. We have to call Arian when we get out there, but no,
We'll put Ben in.
I'm not going to Vegas with Ben. No.
and lock him in.
No. He don't act right in Birmingham. How we gonna take him to Vegas?
I don't gamble.
Rome needs to have a father when we.
Gambling is the last of my words.
Oh,
I
we
don't gamble. Like I do fantasy football. That's it. That's the extent of my gambling and
Hey,
$5 parlay bets. That's it.
You said fantasy
been to
football.
Vegas,
Yeah.
and you worried about just the gambling part?
That's not the part we worried about. The fantasy part is what we're worried about.
I'm retired.
And on that note,
No, we go.
And on that note,
It was a sudden silence.
like for
Awkward
real.
silence.
And don't forget, man. Hey, we definitely want to do the NFL draft thing. There's a lot of stuff we want to do once again,
we
need to do that in person somewhere.
That's fine with me because
we need to talk
got
to somebody.
This has been a
we
goal.
need to talk
That
to
bro,
somebody, and we need to talk.
Because if they go outside again,
Bro, listen, man.
we
That
got to
draft,
do it in person.
man. Look, how about I just come in and like pick 17 or something? There's no reason why this draft, the first round draft, is 4 hours long. It don't make no sense. It's ridiculous.
yes, because it's 4 hours because it's a prime time event.
Right.
what
And
they
they
want.
show 1,000 commercials.
Mhm.
Get their money.
I mean, I can.
And they know
watch
y'all gonna
seven-
watch. They know y'all gonna watch.
After two picks, they go on a commercial for about 7-8 minutes.
I could watch the 10 Commandments by the time the thing on draft go off.
Well, we'll make sure it's somewhere where you can have a little something to drink and a comfortable seat and maybe a cigar or something.
Yeah, we gotta go somewhere.
You
man.
might
We
well get a
gotta-
pillow and a blanket, all that.
Well,
all
hell,
that
I ain't
shit.
doing all that now. That's not my responsibility. I don't know where all this came from, sir.
God, no.
Golly.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that. So anyway, but man, we're gonna let y'all go, man. We appreciate y'all for everything, man, and we'll holler back at y'all probably Thursday. And nothing else, man. This DSF. What you looking crazy for, Tuck?
Because you said you and Dave gonna be out of pocket.
I can work some things out. We'll see.
Okay.
Anyway,
All
all right, man. We about this thing, man, for DSL Podcast. Please go to DSLpodcast.com as soon as you can. Thank you. And we're out. Oh, and go Eagles. I'm joking, Ben.